Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Nadiyah Nur Azizah. My student ID number is 101 and I'm from 2022A class. In this video, I will show you my result of analyzing an article titled Application Learning to Know the Clock. This article was written by IwanRijayana, Penitaliash, and Leyla Noor in 2020. The study focuses on the development of an Android-based application aimed at helping children learn to read a clock. The application is designed to provide a multimedia-based learning experience, incorporating features such as pictures, text, sound, and interactive games to engage children in understanding and recognizing how to read both analog and digital clocks. The purpose of the study is to create a new learning tool for children, enabling them to remember and apply what they have learned. The application includes learning material based on games, designed to supplement classroom activities and facilitate children's understanding of time measurement. In the application of learning to know the clock, there is an educational game that aims to train memory of children in common dealing with applying lessons of previously taught in the learning. This educational game has two game types, namely guess watches and set clockwise. Basically, these two types of games that have the same method are asking questions about how many hours, but by different methods, and also different problems provided. Every one case or problem that appears only has one answer that should be answered by the users. The users is children or students. The scoring system is using a plus point. The plus points are the way of assessment to the correct answer without reducing the answer that has been answered incorrectly. Accumulated of plus point shown when the users are finished answering the question 5 until 10. Rate of plus points will produce a rating for the provision of ice cream. The more points earned, the more the ice cream is obtained. Why ice cream? Because usually the kids are very fond of ice cream. So it's expected that the reward of ice cream as the value of the rating can provide more interest in encaustic for them in order to answer the questions correctly. This game has no levels, but if users often play this game and answer the question correctly, then the user will have more ice cream. Learn to know the clock. Guessing clock games, the game guessing time, is one of the types of games that run in the application Learn to Know the Clock. Figure 1. The design of the menu in opening games. This view pops out with a back sound that is typically children's songs and the words guess the time in a loud voice. Then, after a standby back sound, it will continue until the user touches the clock and go to the next display. Figure 2. The design of the question menu displays in the games. This view will pop out with the back sound of children's songs and the words, "What time is it now?" in a very loud voice, followed by the words, "Guess the time" in the digital box. Then the user fills in the answer in the box provided. A time or clock box is a box that is provided for the user to be filled in the answer he thinks that the clock is correct. The minute of box is a box that is provided for the users to fill in the correct answer according to which the minutes available. The box time information is a box that is provided for the user to be filled in the answers to the time of day or night presented by the display. The study emphasized the importance of technology in education and the benefits of using multimedia tools to enhance children's learning experiences. The application is designed to provide a multimedia-based learning experience utilizing the Android platform to engage children in understanding and recognizing how to read both analog and digital clocks. Overall, the implementation of the learning application for children in learning to read the clock has a significant impact on improving children's ability to learn. There are the learning steps based on the article. Number 1. Clock reading, or how to read analog and digital clock. The first thing to do by the teacher is to introduce a timing device called a clock. The clock can be indicated by a digital clock or analog clock as well. To introduce the digital clock, the teacher should bring digital media in the form of clock measurement and explain the parts of the digital clock. There is a pointer to the left as the clock, while the figure on the right as a minute pointer. In the digital clock, the time is directly indicated by the figures that appeared, so that it can be directly read by the numbers that appear over the right part shows the hour and the left part shows the minutes. To introduce an analog clock, teachers must bring the media in the form of an analog clock and explain the parts of the analog clock. In the analog clock, there are numbers starting from 1 to 12, and there are two hands that are short needle which indicates hours and a long needle that indicates minutes. Then the teachers are using an analog clock and showing the students by rotating clockwise unanimously and ask students to read in order to know the student's ability in understanding clock reading. By utilizing an analog clock, the teacher can also ask some students to come forward in front of the class to turn the clock at curtain unanimously as recommended by the teacher, and then indicate to his friends to read the time together. And then to help students learning to read the clock, students can use the application Learn to Know the Clock. Number 2. Timing, or how to decide the time for having breakfast, lunch, and dinner. In explaining to determine morning time, afternoon, and evening, the first step is to explain how we can determine the time it was said to be morning, noon, and night that can be viewed with a measure of time and also with pictures. Before explaining the time device, teachers can provoke students to get to know the morning time, noon, and night by asking the students associated with everyday activities, such as when you are going to school, is that morning, afternoon, or evening? Or what time when you are going back home? Regarding the explanation of the morning time, noon, and night, it can be described using the image as a common explanatory time for students in order to be easier to understand. The images used should be a daily activity that students do. And then, to help students learn to decide the time, students can use the application Learn to Know the Clock. That's all from me for article analysis. Thank you for watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.